Join our family of creators. Your support means the world to us. Subscribe now to the Content Creator channel. Your support keeps us motivated and helps us bring you fresh, exciting content every week. Hit that subscribe button and be part of our journey. Imagine getting a letter delivered right to your doorstep, promising you thousands of extra dollars this year, a financial boost that could really make a difference. That's the promise, at least on the surface, of a new law signed by President Donald Trump, a bill hailed as a game changer. But what if that same letter, after the initial excitement, warned that your health insurance might be cut, leaving you vulnerable and exposed to unexpected medical costs? Or that the country, already grappling with financial challenges, would go deeper into debt, burdening future generations? This is the complex reality of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, a law with far-reaching consequences. The law offers more money for many families now, providing immediate relief and a sense of financial security, but it also brings big worries for the future, casting a shadow over long-term financial stability. For regular people, for everyday Americans, this law isn't just about abstract numbers in Washington, it's about your paycheck, the money you take home to support your family, your access to doctor visits, ensuring your health and well-being, and your children's future, providing them with opportunities for success. We'll break down what the law actually does, dissecting its key provisions and implications. We'll examine who it helps, identifying the winners in this legislative gamble and who it might hurt, uncovering the potential losers and those left behind. Some parts are tax cuts, designed to stimulate the economy and put more money in your pocket. That could mean more money for you, a welcome boost to your personal finances. Others are spending increases for the military, bolstering national defense and security, and border security, aiming to control immigration and protect national borders. But there are also deep cuts to programs, impacting essential services and support networks, that help people with low incomes pay for food and healthcare, creating hardship and vulnerability for those most in need. Understanding this law is absolutely critical. It's not just an option, it's a necessity. It will affect every town and city, every community and neighborhood for years to come, shaping the landscape of our society. We'll explore the promises of more jobs and higher wages, the potential for economic growth and prosperity, and the warnings about debt and lost health coverage, the risks of financial instability and healthcare insecurity. By the end, you'll have a clearer picture, a more informed perspective, of what the One Big Beautiful Bill Act really means for you, your family, and your community, empowering you to make informed decisions about your future. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act. It's a name that certainly grabs your attention, but what exactly does this piece of legislation entail? What are its key components and intended effects? Is one of the largest, most ambitious laws in recent American history. Its scope is broad, and its potential impact is significant. Signed by President Trump in 2025, after a heated debate and intense negotiations, it aims to stimulate the economy by putting more money into the hands of individuals, with the hope that increased spending will boost overall economic activity, and businesses, fostering growth and investment across various sectors. The law makes many 2017 tax cuts permanent, solidifying those changes into the tax code, and adds new ones, further altering the tax landscape for both individuals and corporations, like lower taxes on tips, providing relief to service industry workers, and overtime pay, aiming to incentivize hard work and reward productivity. It boosts government spending on the military, increasing funding for defense programs and national security initiatives, and border security, including billions for a border wall, a key promise made during the presidential campaign. And more agents, strengthening law enforcement presence along the border. Supporters say this will create jobs, particularly in construction and related industries, and strengthen national security, making the country safer and more secure. But to pay for these priorities, which come at a significant cost, the bill makes deep cuts, requiring difficult choices and trade-offs. To social safety net programs, raising concerns about the impact on vulnerable populations, like Medicaid, potentially reducing access to healthcare for millions of Americans, and SNAP, impacting food security for low-income families. It also rolls back support for clean energy, reversing progress on environmental protection, shifting policy back toward fossil fuels, raising concerns about climate change and long-term sustainability. Passing the bill was a political battle, marked by intense debate and partisan divisions, with Republicans supporting it as a growth engine, believing it would unleash economic potential, and Democrats opposing it as a giveaway to the wealthy, arguing it would exacerbate income inequality. The final vote highlighted deep divisions reflecting the polarized political climate in American politics. It underscored the challenges of governing in a deeply divided nation. This law touches nearly every part, impacting a wide range of issues of American life, affecting communities and families across the country, from taxes to healthcare to energy, shaping the economic and social landscape for years to come. The most immediate effect, the one that people will notice right away, of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, is its direct impact on personal finances, is that many Americans will see more money in their paychecks, a welcome change for households across the country. The law cuts or eliminates federal income tax on tips and overtime pay for many workers, providing a financial boost to those who often work the longest hours, boosting take-home pay and offering some much-needed financial breathing room. The White House projects the average worker, under this new legislation, could see wages rise by up to $7,200 per year, a substantial increase that could significantly improve living standards. Billions are allocated to infrastructure, modernizing roads, bridges, and public transportation, defense, strengthening our national security, and border security, enhancing efforts to control and manage our nation's borders, aiming to create or protect up to 7 million jobs, stimulating economic growth and reducing unemployment rates. For families in areas with new projects, particularly those in underserved communities, this could mean new opportunities and greater financial stability, offering a pathway to a more secure future. Supporters argue that lower taxes and government investment, strategically targeted at key sectors, will create a cycle of prosperity, a self-sustaining engine of economic growth. More spending, more jobs, a stronger economy, and a brighter outlook for all Americans. For a typical family of four, facing the everyday challenges of modern life, the administration estimates an increase in take-home pay of around $10,900 per year, a significant boost to their financial well-being. This extra money could help with groceries, rent, or savings, easing the burden of daily expenses, providing immediate relief and a sense of financial security. However, these are projections. Economic forecasts are never guarantees. The actual impact will vary, depending on a range of factors and unforeseen circumstances. Not all families will benefit equally. The distribution of wealth remains a complex issue. Some industries and regions will see more gains than others, highlighting the need for continued efforts to address economic disparities. Economists are watching to see if these short-term gains, these initial positive effects, will be widespread and sustainable, leading to lasting economic growth for all. While more money today is appealing, many experts worry about the long-term cost of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. The main concern, national debt. The bill could add $2.80 to $5 trillion to the debt over the next decade. A growing debt can mean higher interest rates, making loans for homes or cars more expensive, and could lead to inflation. Former Treasury Secretary Lawrence Summers warns the bill could risk recession or stagflation, slow growth and high inflation. Supporters argue that economic growth will generate enough tax revenue to offset the costs, but most economists are skeptical. Ultimately, a larger debt means future generations will pay the price, possibly through higher taxes or cuts to services like education and infrastructure. The debate is about more than today's economy. It's about the country's financial health for decades to come. The bill forces a choice between immediate benefits and long-term responsibility. Will today's gains be worth tomorrow's costs? Every major law creates winners and losers, and the One Big Beautiful Bill Act is no exception. Winners include tipped workers, those earning overtime, wealthy Americans, and large corporations, especially in defense and fossil fuels. The bill makes permanent lower tax rates for the wealthy and gives billions in new contracts to certain industries. Losers are those who rely on programs being cut. Medicaid and SNAP recipients, low-income families, children, seniors, and people with disabilities. Up to 11.8 million could lose Medicaid coverage, and 8 million could lose food stamps. Rural communities may lose hospitals that rely on Medicaid, threatening local healthcare and jobs. Critics argue the bill shifts wealth from the poor to the rich, and from the future to the present, by adding trillions to the national debt. Future generations may face higher taxes, fewer services, and a less stable economy. The bill prioritizes immediate gains over long-term stability, creating a clear divide between those who benefit now and those who pay later. One of the most controversial parts of the bill is its deep cuts to Medicaid, which provides health insurance to over 80 million Americans. The law cuts more than $1 trillion from Medicaid over 10 years, introducing stricter work requirements and frequent eligibility checks. As many as 11.8 million people could lose coverage, including children, seniors, and people with disabilities. Losing Medicaid could mean families can't afford doctor visits or long-term care. Hospitals, especially in rural and low-income areas, depend on Medicaid payments. Cuts could force layoffs, service cuts, or even closures. The American Hospital Association warns these cuts could destabilize the healthcare system. Even those with private insurance could see higher costs as hospitals try to make up for lost revenue. The ripple effects of these cuts could impact entire communities, not just those who lose coverage. The bill marks a major shift in America's energy policy, rolling back support for clean energy and boosting fossil fuels. Tax credits for solar, wind, and electric vehicles are cut, making renewables more expensive. Fossil fuel companies benefit from easier access to public lands and fewer regulations. Supporters argue this will lower energy prices, create jobs, and make the U.S. more energy independent. Critics warn it will increase pollution, slow progress on climate change, and cost jobs in the growing clean energy sector. For families, the short-term result may be lower gas prices, but long-term risks include more pollution and vulnerability to global oil price swings. The debate is about priorities. Maximize fossil fuel production now, or invest in a cleaner, more sustainable future. The bill's energy provisions could shape America's environment and economy for decades. The debate over the bill is a clash of two visions for America's future. Supporters, like the White House Council of Economic Advisors, say tax cuts, deregulation, and domestic energy will create jobs, raise wages, and reduce the deficit through growth. They argue the best social program is a good-paying job, and that cuts to benefits will encourage work and self-sufficiency. Critics, including former Treasury Secretary Lawrence Summers, call the bill a massive transfer of wealth to the rich, warning of higher debt, inflation, and hardship for the vulnerable. They dispute claims that job growth will replace lost benefits, noting many new jobs lack affordable health insurance. Critics see the bill widening the gap between rich and poor, and say its economic projections are unrealistic. The bill's supporters see empowerment and prosperity. Its critics see risk and inequality. The truth may depend on how the law plays out in real life. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act is already shaping the future of American politics. With the 2026 midterms approaching, the law is a central battleground for both parties. Democrats are highlighting stories of families losing health insurance or food assistance, hoping to make the election a referendum on fairness and health care. Republicans focus on short-term economic gains, touting job growth and wage increases. The challenge convincing voters to look past cuts to social programs and trust in long-term benefits. The election may hinge on which story resonates, immediate gains or future risks. If the economy booms, Republicans may be rewarded. If pain from cuts spreads, there could be backlash. This one bill has set the stage for a dramatic political fight that will shape America's direction for